everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing the How Well Do I Know My Books challenge. So I was looking up fun challenges to do because I just feel like I haven't done one in a little while and I've been really wanting something that was sort of like mindless but fun, and I came across this challenge that was created by Jessie the Reader back in 2019. I don't personally think I've ever seen this one done, so I had to watch the video. It seemed like a great time, and yes, that is what we're going to be doing today. We have like almost 30 prompts here, and we will be using a random number generator to generate what book we will have to use to answer the prompt. Now, I have 9 bookshelves in this room, starting on the very far wall that I think you can't actually even see on camera, going all the way around, and then I have one behind you here that again you can't see on camera. So what I will be doing is doing a random number generator from 1 through 9 to figure out which bookcase we're going to use, and then I will use a random number generator from I think 1 to 150 because I feel like that's slightly more than each bookcase holds in general, but I want to make sure that we're getting to the bottom if possible. But I do know I have some bookcases that have comics or manga that probably hold more than 150, so we'll have to see how this goes. But yes, we're going to use the random number generator to generate what book we have to use to answer the prompts. I'm very excited. This is not a timed challenge, even though those are very, very fun, but I feel like this is going to be an amazing time. So let me pull up the random number generators and we will get started. Okay, so the first random number generator we are going to use is going to be for the bookshelf, so 1 through 9, 5, and then for which book we are going to use, 35. Okay, so this is the book we are going to be using, and the prompt is, without looking at the description, tell us what the book is about. So this is a collection of Buffy the Vampire Slayer comics. I do not believe these are going to be canon in the Slayer TV show universe, like some of the more like season 8, season 9, season 10 comics, that kind of thing. But yes, this is a collection of stories that I do believe actually take place during the actual TV show, but again, are not canon. I'm gonna say I get this just because the back basically says some of the best Buffy comics to see print are collected in the 2nd volume of our comprehensive series. Buffy starts to make her way from Los Angeles to Sunnydale, enduring both her parents' divorce and an annoying little sister. A souled vampire makes his first appearance, Spike and Drusilla cleave a bloody path toward the West Coast, and the Scooby Gang forms at last. So, yeah. Going back to shelf generator, 8, and for the book, 59. Okay, and so prompt number 2, we have this one, volume 6 of The Promised Neverland, and the prompt is, without looking, what is the genre of this book? So this is pretty easy. First of all, it's a manga, which I'm gonna consider more a format than a genre, but it is definitely a like fantasy, thriller, horror type of situation. It's definitely 100% all 3. Okay, back to shelf, 7, and for book, 64. Okay, so for this one, our prompt is, without looking, tell us what is on the cover. And I have a manga here. It is the 4th volume of Behind the Scenes, and I will tell you, I can picture sort of like the cover style because it is a manga and it's very sort of stylized with the like drawing, and I almost feel like the colors look semi-watercolor-esque. And it is a series about a club on a college campus that is in charge of like the behind the scenes stuff in like the movie clubs, the theater clubs, that kind of stuff. Like, they make the props, they make the costumes, they make the sets. and so I feel like there's gonna have to be some sort of like glue gun or something on the cover, but I will tell you I do not know for sure. So this is what it looks like. So this is volume 4 of Behind the Scenes by Bisco Hattori. This is the same author as Ouran High School Host Club, and again, I love these covers in general because of how they look. Like, the style is very much like, this is the style. However, I know I'm wrong. So it looks like one of our main characters and one of our side characters, and I see a paintbrush and like a little spatula thing down here. But besides that, completely wrong. I got the gist of it, like I know what this is about, but I was never gonna be able to tell you what was on this cover. Okay, going back to shelf 9 and book 101. Okay, well, shelf 9 is behind you, and 101 might take me a little while. Okay, I ended up having to loop around my middle grade shelf because I only got up to like 90 something of books actually on there. So we ended up on The Copper Gauntlet by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, and our prompt is, without looking, what is the main character's name? So for this one, I am like 99% sure that it is Callum Hunt, and he goes by Cal. Now to find where in this book it will tell me I am correct. Right at the front here, Callum Hunt. Okay, moving back to shelf 1, and for book 80. Yeah, 80, okay. Okay, so for 80, we have Mockingbird by Chuck Wendig. This is the second book in the Miriam Black series. Miriam Black is the main character, but I have to, without looking, name a side character. I really don't think I can do that with this book. It has been so long since I've read it. I'm thinking there's a character named something like Louis, but that could also be the first book in this series. Like, I really have no idea. On the back, it doesn't even specify any other names besides Miriam. Ooh, this, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. Well, I see a name of Jack and Katie. There's Katie again. Maybe Katie's more of a secondary character in this one. I have literally no idea. I don't even know if Louis is an actual character in this book series. Okay, so according to Goodreads, there is a character in book 1 called Louis, or I guess it could be Louis, like L-O-U-I-S, depending on how it's supposed to be pronounced. My head thought of Louis, but this is the wrong book in the series, so I definitely did not get that right. Okay, back to shelf 5, and for the book 42. Okay, back on our Buffy shelf, we have this one here. So this one is a comic bind-up, I'm pretty sure, and our prompt is, without looking, guess how many pages the book has. If you guess 25 below or 25 above the number, you can count it as a win. So this one, I'm like 100% sure it has less than 100 pages in it. So because of the fact that it is a like comic type of book, I'm going to say 72 because I feel like that is a common number to have for comics if it is under 100 pages as a bind-up. So I'm just gonna go on Goodreads to double check. Okay, so for this book, Buffy, The High School Years, Glutton for Punishment, 80. I was 8 pages off, so definitely got that right. This is probably one of the easier ones I could have done. Any sort of comics or manga probably would have been pretty easy. Moving back to shelf 2, and for the book, 11. Okay, this ended up over on my Star Trek shelf. And the thing about this question is, so it says, without looking, what rating did you give this book? If you land on a book that you haven't read, pick a new set of numbers. Most of the Star Trek books I have over there, I have not read. This one at number 11, I have. So what rating did I give this book? More often than not, Star Trek books get 3 or 4 stars. There has been an occasional 5, like I think there's been a couple that I've given 5 stars because it's just been amazing. And I had one earlier this year that I gave a 2 because it was horrible, but I did not DNF it. So this is more than likely a 3 or a 4. Vulcan Academy Murders. I like Spock a lot, but it just depends on how well they did him. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say I gave it a 3. And this is another one that we are going to have to look up on Goodreads because I do not remember for sure either way. I actually gave it a 4, so I was wrong on what I could remember. So I had a very small review that I actually wrote on this book back when I read it in 2013. And it does say here that I felt the characters were loyal to their personalities from the series, and I was happy to see some characters in more depth. I got a chance to see how things were run on Vulcan, especially for human and Vulcan relations, and I enjoyed the book. Okay, back to shelf. 9 again, and book 14. Okay, so for this one, we have Artemis Fowl, The Lost Colony, which I believe is book 5 in the series. And the prompt is, without looking, where does this book take place? So, this book series in general takes place in Ireland because our main character, Artemis Fowl, is Irish. And then we also do sometimes end up in the underground fairy realm thing as well. But because it has something to do with a lost colony, I feel like we're also there sometimes too. This one might be hard to double check where I'm being. Okay, the beginning says demons are beginning to materialize without warning on Earth. Should I have just said Earth? It takes place on/in Earth. I'm not sure if it actually specifies. It does say that there is a confused demon imp that appears in a Sicilian theater, so they appear in Sicily as well. I'm gonna say I'm mostly right, but perhaps very, very wrong, just because I know in general where this series takes place, but it's been a while since I've read this book specifically. Okay, back to shelf. We haven't had like 3 or 4 yet, so I would 6. Actually, I don't think we had 6 yet either, so that's fine. And then for the book, 97. Okay. So I had to loop around again because it's one of my like tiny shelves, but I have Up from the Grave by Janine Frost. This is the last book in the series, so let's see what question we have. We have, without looking, what are the parents' names? This is an adult paranormal romance series. We have, okay, our main character, his name is Kat. The love interest's name is Bones. I know for a fact in like the first book of the series we meet her mother. I would never be able to tell you what her mother's name is, or even if she's still alive, because this is like book 7. This is the last book in the series. I have no idea what her parents' names are. I don't even know if we ever find out her dad's name. I feel like this is a question that would have been better with shelf 3 or 4 on my shelves, because I feel like that's where I have a lot of like YA stuff, or even 4 and 5, like I have a lot of YA over there that probably have parents' names. I don't know the parents' names. I don't even know if we get a dad's name, but I do not know the mom's name. Okay, for shelf 1 and book 44. Okay, so for this one we have Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Our question is, without looking at the hardback, what color is the book under the dust jacket? It's black. I just read this in January. I would for sure know what color it is. Some of the other ones, maybe not, but for this one, we have a nice black with the red. Just a plain black book. I am glad we got a hardcover on our first try though, so we didn't have to do more numbers. Okay, moving back to shelf 4, and for the book, 46. Okay, so we have Soul the Sword by Julie Kagawa, and it says, without looking, is there anything on the hardback? Like an imprint or an image of some sort? I just read this last month. I can't tell you if there's anything on the hardback. I'm going to say yes. I feel like there is. I can't remember if there is or not, This is another one of those ones that I could tell you like what the color was, because I remember the color of the book. It's like basically the exact same color as this. But is there an imprint? No. Completely 100% wrong. There is no imprint or design on the naked hardcover. Okay, moving back to shelf 1 again. And the number 144. Okay, we might end up looping around on this one. We will see. Okay, so book 144 is Song of Blood and Stone by Elle Penelope. However, I need a book that has a dust jacket. So I need to pick another random number. I'm gonna leave it. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to do a whole nother bookcase and shelf. So bookcase 2 and book 12. Okay, this might not have a dust jacket either. No dust jacket. Okay, try again. 3. Very random here. We're just going up. 133. Okay. Oh, this one might not have one either. You know, I'm not even gonna do that one. I have 2 books on that entire shelf that have dust jackets. We're not gonna do that. Again. 7. Wait. Okay, I do have some books that have dust jackets on that shelf, but the other half of it is manga that does not, so we will see. 8. Okay, this one should have a dust jacket. It does not. It does not have a dust jacket. 7 did. 8 does not. Okay, you know what? I don't want to do any more random number generators for this question, so I just went back to number 7, which is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, the hardcover version with a dust jacket. And our prompt is, without taking the dust jacket off, what is the color of the font on the hardback? So, one thing I do remember is that like all of these Mortal Instruments books have a different color font underneath. They're all black books, but they have a different color. I want to say City of Heavenly Fire is like gold. That's what I'm thinking of. Nope, it's silver. That was my other guess, but I was wrong. Okay, going back to shelf now. 2, and for the book, 44. Okay, so number 44 on that shelf is another Star Trek book. It is The Idic Epidemic. And the question is, without looking, do the chapters have titles or are they just numbered? I'm pretty sure with these Star Trek books, they are just numbered. Chapter 1. Okay, so for shelf 4 and book 148. Okay, so I am on The Iron Daughter by Julie Kagawa. I had to loop around the shelf. This is the second book in the Iron Fae series, and this is the new cover. I have both versions, but our question is, without looking at the book cover, does it have an award on it? A lot of the books I have do not have any sort of awards on them, because even if they are books that have awards, it's something that is like, I buy them too early. However, I think this book in general just does not have an award. And no award. There's a little sticker, you know, with an excerpt thing at the bottom, but there is no award. Okay, for shelf 7 and book 49. Okay, so I'm not looking. It is Ouran High School Host Club Volume 9, but the question says, without looking, does this book have any author blurbs on the front cover? Since it is a manga, I'm pretty sure there are no author blurbs on the front, like ever. So, yeah, no. No author blurbs on the front saying, read this book. Nothing. I'm going back to shelf 6, and for the book, 127. Okay, so I'm not going to look at the back at all because that's part of our question, But we have Let's Play Volume 1, which originally was a webcomic, but I do have a physical copy, and our question is, without looking, does the book have a description on the back? I want to say yes, because it is a paperback. More often than not, hardcovers have a description on the inside front flap of the dust jacket, but I want to say besides that, most books have it on the back. It does. It has a small description here on the back. She's young, single, and about to achieve her dream of creating incredible video games. But then life throws her a 1-2 punch. A popular streamer gives her first game a scathing review. Even worse, she finds out that same troublesome critic is now her neighbor. A funny, sexy, and all too real story about gaming, memes, and social anxiety. Come for the plot, stay for the doggo. Okay, going back to shelf 5. And book 143. Okay, so we have Silver, Volume 4 by Stefan Frank, and our question is, without looking, does this book have an author photo? I want to say not usually for comics, but this is more of an independently published comic, but I'm still going to say no. I'm going to say no, mostly because I read Volume 1 of this series after purchasing it at a Phoenix Comic-Con thing. And when I went back the next year, I bought volumes 2 through 4, and I had no idea what the author looked like because I'd never met him, did not see it, from what I remember, in the book anywhere for volume 1. And then I bought them specifically from him the second year, but I had no idea it was him at first. So I'm gonna say no, there is no author photo. I think I'm right, because I cannot find an author photo where his name would be, and then going into the back, his the behind the scenes comic stuff where they have sketches and stuff. So yes, no author photo. Okay, going back to shelf 1, they like certain numbers quite a bit, don't they? And then for the book, 8. Okay, we have the Illumicrate edition of The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson, and the question is, without looking it up, is this author using a pen name? I think I'm 100% sure this is not a pen name. This is just her. Yeah, from what I can tell, this is just her. This is not a pen name. And this 100% is an amazing book. It was one of my top books of 2020. Okay, back to shelf 5. And book 130. Okay, so I don't know if this book is going to fit this question. We have Saga Volume 6 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. The question is, without peeking, what point of view is the book written in? First or third? It's a comic series. There are parts where our main character, Hazel, is talking in first person, but besides that, it's sort of like an omniscient type of thing, like third person. I feel like this is not quite going to work. We're gonna find another book, hopefully, by a random number generator that is an actual book. If it ends up being another comic or a manga, I'm done with this question. But I'm gonna try one more time. So for shelf 3, that should be better. And book 121. Okay, so I had to loop the shelf because it was a skinny one, but we do have an actual book here. It is Final Friends Book 1, The Party by Christopher Pike. I absolutely love these older covers so much. But our question is, what I said earlier, without peeking, what point of view is the book written in? First or third? I want to say, I feel like most Christopher Pike books are third person. It's been a little while since I read these especially, but I'm pretty sure third person. I do, oh no, that's talking, that's dialogue. I was gonna say it looks first person, but that's dialogue. I think this is third person. I think I'm right. Maybe? Oh, I can't tell. No. Okay. Okay, this is confusing me because I feel like I need to read the book to see, but I have found first-person language being used in dialogue, and it starts off the beginning of this chapter. I was like, wait a second, maybe it is first person. It's a thought. The italics are thoughts. So besides that, I do think this is third person, but our main character, who I think is Sarah, is being referred to in third person. They're all being referred to in third person. However, their thoughts, the main character, whoever our main character is thinking in first person. It's a little confusing, but I think I'm right. Okay, back to shelf number 4. And for the book, 58. Okay, I have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. And our prompt is, without looking, are there any pictures or graphics in the book? So I know there are some books that I have that, while they are novels, they have like chapter headers, or some of my middle grade even has like some pictures in it. This would have been the better question for the manga and comics that I have here. However, I feel like there are no illustrations, no chapter header illustrations, like there are nothing in here. I mean, there's a map, but I'm not gonna count that. Pictures or graphics. I mean, okay, I was saying I was not gonna count a map, but it does have this. Does this count as a graphic? I think I might be wrong. It does have that on every single chapter header. I haven't read any of these books in a while, and it's been years since I read this one. So I think I'm gonna count that as me being wrong. Okay, back to shelf 7. And book 116. Okay, so now we have the paperback book of City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, and the question is, without looking, does it have an epilogue? I'm pretty sure these books do have epilogues. I think they do. Watch me be wrong. I gotta get past, oh, I was like, I gotta get past all the extra chapters they have, but I did find that up here it says epilogue. I was right. Okay, back to shelf 8, and for the book 136. Okay, so this one we have I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino. Our question is, without looking, does this book have a prologue? It's a manga. There are some mangas that do technically have prologues. I don't think this is one of them. I think this is one where we just sort of jump into the story. And yeah, the first thing I can see in here is chapter 1. I mean, it does have a like few page beginner, but that's pretty common actually. So then that's chapter 1. We start with chapter 1. Okay, moving back to shelf 3. And for the book 141. They like the big numbers. There's only a few shelves here that I need it, like that manga shelf, so like number 8. And my comic shelf, which is on number 5. Like number 8, number 5, I need the big numbers. The rest of them I don't, but okay. Okay, number 141 over there, I had to loop almost all the way down, is Strange Stories from a Chinese Studio, translated by Herbert A. Giles. The question is, without looking, is this book signed? No, I don't think anything actually over there, besides maybe one, is actually signed. This is just a book that we found at a used sale one time, and they're supposed to be stories that are sort of common in Chinese, in like the Chinese culture, Chinese language. Translated, I actually don't think either my husband or I have actually read this yet, but it is not signed. Okay, moving back to shelf 6. And for the book 15. Okay, so I have one of my Barnes & Noble leather-bound classic editions. This is Murder on the Orient Express and Other Hercule Poirot Mysteries by Agatha Christie. I probably totally mispronounced his name because it's just hard for me to say. But our question for this one is, without looking, do the page numbers have a design above or below them, or none at all? Page numbers? I don't think this book is going to have designs with every single page number. It might be one of those ones that has like a design on the chapters, like chapter headers, but I don't think it has a design with the page numbers. This is a gorgeous book though. Like, I mean, end papers. It's like this very, very pretty rose gold, but I don't think, no, I mean, it has the title of the book and then just the number. And they do that for all the books, because like it also has The Murder of Roger Ackroyd and other things. So going back to shelf 2, and for the book 105. Okay, truthfully that bookcase as well also needed a big amount of books, because I got to 105 and I only got about halfway down because I have so many Star Trek books. But we have What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. Our question is, without looking, do the chapter headers have designs on them? It's been so long since I've read this, and it is YA, which I know sometimes YA books have chapter headers with designs, but I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Should I say no? I'm gonna say no, whatever. Yes, no designs, just, you know, chapter and who it is and the date. Okay, for the shelf, 8, and for the book, 29. Okay, so I have the Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service Omnibus Volume 4. So for this one, our question is, without looking, are the acknowledgements in the front or the back of the book? This is a manga. I don't think there are going to be many acknowledgements, if at all, because I feel like it's not the same printed in here as like when it's an actual novel. But if there are going to be any, I feel like it would be in the back. But I also feel like there might not be any at all. Definitely not in the front though. I'm gonna check the front first. They have like who did what, who has the story, who's the art, original cover design, and then translation, and the editor for the English adaptation, but no acknowledgements. But in the back, it has like publisher and editor and everything for the English version. It has the copyright, who it's published by, and then there's the like translations of certain like special effects, sound effects, language types of things. There's a lot of them actually. There's no acknowledgements in this book. None at all. I'm not finding another book though. I am almost done with this challenge. Like I have like 2 questions left and I'm just tired of getting up and doing this. Baby is making me so out of breath and exhausted. I'm not finding a book that does have acknowledgements. There's just no acknowledgements. Okay, going back to shelf 7. And for the book 2. Okay. Okay, I feel like we've been on this shelf a lot, and by this shelf I mean I have a lot of Cassandra Clare books. And so we have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is, yes, number 2 on that shelf because I have a special edition City of Bones before it. But our question is, without looking, what year was the book published? Now, I think I originally picked this up in paperback. I think it was in like 2008. So I'm pretty sure this hardcover edition came out in 2007. This book was published 2007. Copyright 2007. I was correct. And then for the last time, going to bookcase 8. We had like hardly any 8s at the beginning and now it's really liking 8. But 8. And then for the book 48. Okay. So for our last one here, we have Blue Flag Volume 6 by Kaito, and our last question is, without looking, what year did you read this book? I read it last year. I actually think it came out last year in English as well, so I'm gonna double check on Goodreads just in case, but this was one of the books that was in like my top manga and comics video of last year for 2021, so it has to be last year. I read volume 6. It came out February of last year. I read it May of last year. And so yay, that was all of the prompts. This was very fun to do. However, me being pregnant and being so out of breath, like I am more than halfway through my pregnancy. I'm sure you guys were able to see it. Like this tummy is getting there. This baby likes to kick me and push on things that make me out of breath. This was fun, but it was very hard to do, to keep up and down, counting and everything. But I did enjoy this. I did not keep track of how well I actually know my books. I'm gonna let editing Chelsea put a little bit of like a stats thing here. How many things I actually got right, how many things I got wrong, and then probably like percentage. This is like the percentage of how well I know my books. You guys might have been keeping track of the whole thing. I don't know. I know for sure I wasn't. But that is it for today. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. And subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos up Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I will see you then. Bye.